All right, good morning. I'll give you the injury report, and then the time's yours. Terrell Bernard won't practice. Maxwell Harrison, Ty Johnson, Matt Milano. Milano is sick today. Matt Prater, all those players will not practice. Limited today will be DQ, Dalton Kincaid, Jordan Poyer, Shaq Thompson, and then we'll open DeMar Hamlin's window starting today. You already know, I believe, about Jordan Phillips being placed on IR. Dane Jackson signed off the practice squad.
What happened with Jordan?
Foot. Yeah, foot in the game. Yeah.
What's the hope with Matt Prater this week?
Sorry?
Matt Prater?
Yeah, day at a time. Yep. So we'll see where it goes.
I don't know if this is different for the playoffs or the regular season, but I know we're talking about installs and your first impressions on the team on Monday. Do they change? Like, do you feel any different about the Jaguars now that you've had another 48 hours to dive in, or once you get going in a certain direction, do that? I mean, just like a general overview as to how you get after an opponent that you haven't faced.
Yeah. No, I mean, it changes a little bit, Tim. It's a great question. It changes a little bit as you study more and more film. I'm talking about non-opponent specific. And so when we spoke Monday, my exposure was, say this, now it's grown, obviously, over the last 48 hours, what have you. They're a really good football team. I've had a chance to look at them in all three phases, and, they've got a lot of weapons. When you just talk special teams, obviously their kicking game is elite. So that will affect things for us and what they're able to do with their field goal kicking and kickoffs, and their punters extremely talented as well. Their return game is really good. Heath does a great job over there, and the trades that they made with getting Jacoby Myers on the offensive side has definitely paid dividends, and it looks like they've got the guys in the spots where they want them now. And I think they're 7-1 since they picked them up, maybe. And then, picking up the corner on the other side from Cleveland, good player as well. And he's fortified and kind of solidified that side of the ball for him in terms of the corner piece. So very talented team. So we'll have a big challenge in front of us.
Back in August, you addressed the issue of the whole thing about not being able to get over the playoffs. You said something to the effect of, there's one thing that remains, we know what that is. As you now open the playoffs, what are your thoughts about that and the pressures of, not the pressures, but the specter of needing to advance this team to where it needs to get?
Yeah, we're really focused on this game and today, quite honestly. Being present today, improving where we need to improve, making sure we got the right game plan, getting the first chance for the players to come out and execute today, and see where we go from there.
Sean, just to clarify, make sure Josh is a full participant today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean, can you expound on what Tim was saying earlier about what you've learned in the days here about their run defense, which looks to be, you're the number one rushing team in the league, but this might be maybe your best test of the season.
Yeah, big challenge. Coach does a really good job on that side of the ball, and Campanelli, and you just look at it overall. They're stout in what they do. They set edges well. They play some of the time 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. Sometimes it's 4, so they change structures. And they pressure quite a bit, and so you've got to be on your details to make sure we're all on the same page with that and how we handle that. So you watch the games, and they're a real tough defense, especially in the run game.
Sean, what went into the decision to open DeMar's window? Obviously, it's been a long time since he's been on injured reserve. Like, what have you seen?
More medically. I've obviously been around him, interacted with him on a personal level. Seems in good spirits, but medically, it's obviously moving in the right direction. So Nate is the one who gives us the green light to, hey, if we're in that spot, let's go ahead and open it up.
And then where is that in terms of potentially opening that window this week or next week? Like, how is that?
Don't know yet. Yeah. I know he's trending in the right direction. I just don't know if it's going to be this week, next week, week after, something like that.
Sean, we talked about the slow starts with your team a few different times this year. How much of a focus is it this week to avoid that, and how much do you change maybe an approach to
try and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to get off to a good start in any game, in particular a game like this. But at the end of the day, it's about us playing really good football from play one to play however long it takes.
Sean, can a road game, even though you love playing, can a road game be a galvanizing thing for a team? You know, you talked about you have a good setup and you like the plan your team has when you go on the road. Can it be that for a team having to go on the road in the playoffs?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, potentially, we've played a lot of playoff games, been a part of a lot of playoff games in my career, and you play some at home and you get some away, and that's kind of usually how the seasons go. So you got to be able to adapt to where you play and all the things that come with playing on the road.
Max goes down. Can you kind of put into words what it means to have a guy like Dane Jackson available on your practice squad to come up and maybe fill in?
Yeah, Dane's always been a guy that's done a great job for us. When he was first came around, and right away you notice the intangibles that Dane Jackson brings to the table: his toughness, his football instincts, his blue collar approach, and he's a great teammate. So it's great to have someone like Dane that we can rely on in a situation like this.
Joe on Monday mentioned that because the plan was what it was for Josh last week, that he maybe had a chance to do a little bit more self-scouting than he might have otherwise normally in a week. What have you noticed from Josh, maybe on the mental side as much as the physical side leading into this week?
The week is early yet, Jay, so it's I was around him a little bit this morning, or a lot more this morning as I compared to the last couple of days, but still around him the last couple of days. So this is how he is every year this time of year. He's very dialed in, very focused, really focused and honed in on his process and what he needs to do. And that's what it appears from my vantage point this morning as well.
The regular season for Josh was maybe potentially had a few more potholes than it did last year in terms of the sacks and things like that. How have you seen him, I guess, respond to that adversity? If that's the right word?
Yeah, well, I think when you come off the year that he had last year, talking about the reigning MVP in the league, and that's a near perfect season, and people then think, okay, then he's got to one up that. That's almost impossible to do, the way he played last year. So you don't want to try and go out and be perfect. That's not how you really want to perform. So you want to go out there knowing that there's going to be some imperfections, and then you adjust and adapt. And I really believe he's led our team in that regard, which is really strong for us.
What is it about Josh that steps up in his game in the playoffs? I mean, as good as he is in the regular season, his numbers, his efficiency, his production is that much higher.
Yeah, I think I mentioned his process is really strong, especially this time of year.
Sean, from 2017, when you were coaching your first playoff games at coach up until this point, I'm sure there are a lot of things and areas where you could grow. But is there a notable
Other than this right here, other than this.
Is there anything that stands out about what you know now that you didn't know then?
What I know now that I didn't know then? Oh, man. I should turn around and ask you guys the same question 9 years ago. What do you know now that you didn't know 9 years ago? I just really believe you learn through life experiences, through experiences on the job. It's hard for me to say, where do I start, really, So it's, but you grow and you adapt and you reflect. And I think those are all healthy qualities of a human being overall, let alone a leader or a football coach or any type of person certainly that holds a job, that you want to continue to grow and improve and adjust. And as much as you sometimes learn, sometimes you're reaffirmed of, hey, what you knew before is what you know now, and that it works too. So.
What have you learned or maybe appreciated about Dalton Hay as much by his absence as maybe this season as the times that he was there?
Yeah, good football player. A key cog to our offense, and his health and ability to be out there, availability for us is huge for us. And I don't think you need to kind of study the numbers long to take note of that.
And then we see with,
What do you need to see from Matt Prater throughout to feel confident to have him be the lone kicker?
Yeah. So we won't kick Matt today. But we will try and kick him tomorrow so we can kind of get a feel for where he's at. And yet, hopefully he's good to go as of tomorrow. And then we can, and this is just on a day by day, right now, that's the plan. We can take a look tomorrow and just see where he's at. And then hopefully all is well. And he gets a chance to then kind of get back to some rest after that as we head into game time. So I think we'll know a little bit more tomorrow, maybe end of the day, end of business tomorrow.
Sean, what do you see from Trevor Lawrence? Early in his career, it seemed like inconsistency plagued him, but in the second half of this year, he's maybe going into the playoffs as one of the hottest quarterbacks.
Yeah.
in the league.
No, I think they are as a team, very, very impressive, near perfect in their games. And the games haven't been close that they've played. They've been well ahead. And so, it's led by him. He's been, in command of what they do and knows where to go with the ball, and certainly can extend plays with his athleticism and his legs and his play strength. You see him, you watch him against some really good teams, and he's giving them fits. All right.
I'm curious, how much does it help that Matthew had experience in Jacksonville?
Yeah, that's certainly part of his resume. That's a plus for sure. Yeah. Thank you.